and I'm going to ask a couple of you to just introduce yourself, give your name and club affiliation, the number of years that you've been in Toastmasters, and what you're hoping to gain from today's session. So anyone, just raise your hand, tell me who you are, what your club is, and what you're hoping to learn today. Let's start with Donna. Yes.
Okay, I am Donna Stefanov. I'm past district governor for District 49, which was Hawaii. I have been in Toastmasters since 1986, and I am currently the Vice President of PR. I've been through your course once before because you and I went through it when you were testing it out. Thought it was really great and thought I could use a little bit of a refresher, especially since right now we have some apartment complexes that are empty and we need to fill them, and I need to learn how to do a little bit more PR for that. So I think yours will fit right in with that. So
great.
And I'm here.
And you bring up a good point. A lot of these PR strategies can be translated outside of the club. I mean, it's geared for Toastmasters Club, but as you'll see, you can use it for your business, you can use it for nonprofit, you can use it for charities, anything that you want to advertise, you can use these techniques. Anybody else? How about, let's see, Aggie? If you could just say your club and what you're hoping to get out of today.
Hi, my name is Aggie, and I am the Area 63 Director. I'm from Aim High Toastmasters, and I'm just looking for some tools to help my club, but also my area, to just do a better job of promoting themselves, because we are all a little desperate for members right now because of COVID-19. So we're looking for ways to be creative and spread the word about what Toastmasters can do for us more so than ever. So thank you.
Right, great. And we will cover techniques about getting out there even in the world of Zoom. And one more person, let's try Evelyn Irving.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Evelyn Irving, and I am from the Maximus Austin Toastmasters. And I want to learn about some additional strategies on how we can recruit new members, how we can retain guests after they come to one of our Zoom meetings or Teams meetings, whichever platform we're on now. But I'm just looking for some additional strategies where we can just continue to promote our club and have some additional growth.
Perfect. All right, well, you're in luck today because we are going to go and give strategies to go through all of these techniques that you will be able to start using as soon as tonight. Let's see here. Of course, it won't go if I can't get my screen to work, huh? Let me stop that and screen share again. Okay, let's see if this works now. It does. My main premise is that anyone can improve public relations. You just need to go and follow the steps. So we're going to go and cover topics such as your persona of your club, branding, who is your target audience, and how do you find your people to come to your club? And then as a bonus, if we have time, we are going to do some website reviews of some Toastmaster clubs. Let's first define what public relations means. So the goal of public relations is to create and maintain a favorable public image of an organization. As PR manager, you shape the organization's image. You build the brand and you spread the message. A key thing to remember is visibility equals credibility. You remember when I showed you that opening screen of my bio and there were all of those little blurbs at the bottom, Austin Woman Magazine and Bowflex and Muscle and Fitness and Fox News and Good Day Austin? The reason I put that on the bottom was that shows that I had visibility, and you guys know those brands. You guys know what it is. You've heard of Good Day Austin. You've heard of Fox News. You've heard of Austin Woman. So that gives me credibility. Anytime that you can go and promote yourself some way as an expert or your club as a specialty brand, then people will go and give you more credibility. They'll give you a second look, which is what you need right now when you're trying to get members. So let's talk about how to create a PR strategy. There are 5 steps that you need to do. First, figure out, who are you as a club? You need to define your target audience. Then you need to figure out, what do you want to tell them? And you need to create a strategy. How are you going to reach your target people? And then you need to measure results. This is the overview, and I'm going to go through each step. Let's talk about persona. Who are you? Questions you need to ask yourself. Who are we as a club? What do we value? Personality. If our club was a person, what kind of a person would it be? What kind of person would you look like if you were to describe a club? I've given this presentation before, and one person went and said that their club, during their meetings, they drink beer. Just hearing that gives me an image of what their club looks like. Laid back, having a good time, casual, versus another club in Washington, D.C. I'm going to give you an example of their website later. They have chandeliers as their images, as their logo. For them, I'd picture champagne. I would picture a very different person from one club to another, just based on what they're drinking. You need to ask yourself, what are our key assets and capabilities that make us special? People are looking to Toastmasters to solve a problem, and your club is the specialty that can go and solve that person's problem. So if you're the beer drinker, maybe the problem that you're going to go, your target audience would be somebody who just wants a really relaxed environment because maybe they're just really timid and stressed out. Whereas the one that's the champagne drinkers, movers and shakers, maybe that's targeting an audience that is tied into the DC area with movers and shakers and people who are trying to network. Totally different vibe, totally different audience. And your club needs to be marketed as such. You want to make sure that the members know what benefits your club will offer them. And it's always good to have an elevator pitch for your club. So a little bit later, we're going to practice elevator pitches when we get more into these techniques. So for a case study, remember I told you that I was the co-chair of the Women's March in Texas? I'm going to talk about that for a little bit. So you can see just in our logo, what did we have? Well, we had the capital of Texas. We made sure to feature in the logo the woman on top because it was the Women's March. We made sure that we had pink in there to symbolize women, and we made sure that we had the date of the march. And we focused it on all of the people who were there gathering at the Capitol. So what was our persona that we were trying to go and sell to go and get people to come to our rally? Well, we wanted to say we are a diverse, grassroots, all women, all volunteer, progressive group. And you can see that by our picture. So now you should go and ask, who are you as a club? What does your club value? I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. And anybody who wants to raise their hand, who are you as a club? Let's see, Lark. You're a member of several clubs. So tell me one club, who you are as a club.
I think I'll pick the Arthur Storer Club because it was founded in honor of my father-in-law. And I think that club, we meet on Saturdays. And so I think we do take on a more informal approach, a very caring approach, a very supportive approach.
That's great. And if you were to go and think of a picture of a person or a group of people, what do you think the club would look like? People in the club, what do you think they would look like?
Yeah. It is a diverse group, but we do have a lot of tenured members, but we certainly do love our members who are the younger generation as well. So I'd say we're a diverse group and culturally diverse as well. So to me, we are ethnically diverse and culturally diverse and diverse in age. So I think we would show ourselves really with that complete diversity.
Okay, great. All right, Felicia, what club are you in? And if you could go and sort of describe the values of your club.
Absolutely. I am part of the New Braunfels Toastmasters Club, and we recently celebrated our 45th anniversary.
Wow, congrats.
We've been around for quite some time, and so I would describe our club as traditional. When people come and visit our meetings, we have an organized agenda, so we're very mindful of people's time. However, we also know how to let down our hair. If you know New Braunfels, we have parties here, such as Wurst Fest. So, so yes, I would describe my club as being traditional yet fun.
See, just by you going and saying Warspest, that's something that I would log on to. Like if I were to go and design your website, like one of the things that we're going to talk about is creating a voice for your club or your business. You want to make sure that you maintain that voice throughout. And something that's fun, you maybe take a picture of your club at that festival and everybody's holding up, you know, whatever it is, you know, that's something that you could go and tie in and it would be fun. And it sets you apart from another club. That way people will instantly remember, oh yeah, they're the ones who are eating that thing and wearing the Lederhauser or whatever it is. All right, so now I'm going to go back to screen share. All right, so those are our values. Let's talk about brand. What makes a brand? I'm going to ask you now to unmute yourself and just call out the brands that you see on the screen. Anyone?
Domino's.
Apple.
Amazon.
McDonald's.
Disney.
Nike.
All right.
Toastmasters.
So now if you notice, the Nike swoosh doesn't even say Nike, but you knew what it was. The apple is clearly an apple, but it's also Apple computers. So there are certain things like the M, it's just, everybody knows that that's McDonald's. So a brand goes and you can easily identify it. At Toastmasters, we have branding on 2 levels. Toastmasters is an international brand. It has a logo and it's known to help people with public speaking and leadership skills. But your club has a brand too, which is your club's strategic personality that we were just talking about, that suggests the values and promises that a guest may perceive and buy. For the Toastmasters brand, all you have to do is go to toastmasters.org/brand portal. And there you can find templates for the newsletter, for flyers, for PowerPoint presentations, just like this one. You can see Toastmasters International on the bottom. You can also order printed materials for new members who are coming to the club once we get out of the pandemic. I think you can also go and order backgrounds. So there's a lot there. And I want to also let you know, anybody who wants a copy of this PowerPoint presentation, just in the chat, put your email and I will make sure that you get this so you don't have to go and write it down or, you know, try and figure out where the templates are. So if your club was a person, who would you look like? Gonna stop screen share. Now, we talked about this a little bit before, but a fun thing to do is to sometimes go and pretend if your club was being played by a movie star on TV, who would be the star? So if anybody has an idea, throw it on out there. And if not, I'll offer some. Okay, so remember when I was talking about the club that was talking about chandeliers and DC? When I picture that, I picture Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie in their evening gowns and tuxedos dancing, maybe having, you know, a James Bond moment there. So that's kind of who I would see for that character. If I was to go and talk about Arthur Storer Toastmasters, I might go and have somebody who was, you know, maybe a little bit approaching retirement, laid back, maybe on an open field, peaceful kind of background, maybe like a farm, because we're right in Pflugerville, Texas, you know, so I'd kind of see it that way. You know, anytime that you can go and really focus in and define what your club looks like, it's just going to be that much easier for you to get a grasp of how to promote yourself. All right. So branding personality, when I mentioned the Women's March, you can see by these pictures, this is what our branding is. I've got a picture of a suffragette there because we're all about voting. We've got different religions, different ethnicities. And of course, we have our cowgirl at the bottom because we're not just the Women's March, we're the Women's March of Texas. And that cowgirl hat is what separates us from other women's marches. All right, pop quiz. Yes, there is a pop quiz. Where can you find brand templates? You can unmute yourself and just call out. Do you remember where you can find brand templates for Toastmasters? Anybody call? That's right, the brand portal. Go on to Toastmasters.org, brand portal. All right, let's talk about target audience. Target audience. Buyer persona. Who's going to want to come to our club? Well, there's a bunch of different things that you can look at. You can look at the person's gender, their age, their interests, social media that they follow, websites that they follow, social media platforms they use, the lingo that they use, the location where they're at, events they attend, and places that they hang out. It's important to assess your current social media. So when you're going through the social media and you're thinking about what you have right now for your club, you want to ask yourself, does it include the Toastmasters logo and your own club logo or club group picture? Do the photos and logos match across your platforms? And by platform, I mean, does it match your website? Does it match your Facebook page? Does it match your LinkedIn page? Does it match Meetup or Twitter or TikTok or YouTube or whatever media platforms you are using? Do you focus on, do you maintain your voice throughout platforms? It would be really weird if you were talking about a Texas kind of theme going, hey y'all, how's it going? Can't wait to see you all. And then on the next one, you were very formal and businesslike. You need to make sure everything matches. You also want to make sure that all of your social media focuses on key points like the date, location, and contact information for your club. So in the example here, the website that I had for the Women's March was womensmarchatx.org. We made sure the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter handles matched at Women's March ATX. We made sure that the logo was on every single one. We made sure that the Women's March and the date and the picture of the state capitol was the same across all of our platforms. You can go and make this up really easily using free software like Canva. You can go onto that website for free and you can download all cool graphics that you can go and make as banners for your Facebook pages to make everything match. Or you can pay $5 and go onto Fiverr.com and pay for a professional to do it. All right, let's ask right now, how are people currently finding your club? Let's see, Leo, how are people finding your club right now?
Mostly by referral, people inviting friends, neighbors, that kind of thing.
Great. That's a great way to do it. That's called a warm sell. So you've heard of cold calls before. A lot of PR is cold calls. You're just throwing it out there, hoping that somebody will see what you have out there and come into it. But it's a lot easier when you have warm calls, when you invite a friend. How about Victoria? How are people finding your club right now?
We have advertised in Nextdoor and we're out in Georgetown. So we put it in Sun City and then warm calls, as you phrased it.
Oh, great. Does anybody here use social media?
We also have a Facebook page, and I try to post something a couple days ahead of time, and then I also advertise it whenever I'm in some groups that I network with online.
That's great. That's great. The more you can get the word out there, the better. Jay Shree, how about you? How are people finding your club?
Yeah, I think we're mostly referrals, but a few are probably finding it through Google searches and Toastmasters searches, I think. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to tell, but mostly I think it is through people that are already in the club or have been in the club before.
Okay, great. So a lot of the stuff that we're going to be and I see people are writing in the chat box that some people are using Instagram and some people are using Meetup. I know, Jeff, if you want to talk for a minute about Meetup from our group.
Sure. So Meetup is kind of social media that's designed to get people to actually meet up in person. Of course, COVID, well, that's a little difficult. So basically, you can create a Meetup page initially for free. I think once you cross a certain threshold, like 100 people, then you do have to start paying for it. Anyhow, people sign up, you'll get emails, and you can set up your club. Sorry, I'm going all over the place here. You can set up your club and have certain tags attached, like self-improvement, Toastmasters, speaking, leadership, etc. And people that are interested in those sort of things can search and find you that way. And we've gotten a considerable amount of people. So it's just a matter of, hey, do you have someone following up with those new joiners, those people that are jumping on Meetup and finding your club? And do you get them to come to a meeting, either physical or virtual? So
we have a lot of, yes, we have a lot of people who come in from Meetup, and that also goes and talks about I like the way how he was talking about the hashtags that people were using, the lingo. You want to go and put out there lingo that people are looking for. If you want to attract younger members to your club, figure out what the young people are saying and find some of those hashtags. You know, you can do a Google trend search. You could go and do like a Google search, say, you know, millennial trends or millennial lingo or Gen Z. And you can go and find a whole bunch of terms. You could also go and Google things like public speaking hashtags, and then hashtag stuff, especially if you're using platforms like Twitter. And a hashtag is just basically a giant filing system so that people go and do searches and find things easier. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to go and find your club. One of the first things that people do is they will do a Google search, and that will lead them to Toastmasters.org, where you can go and type in a club near you. You can type in your zip code. So when there isn't a pandemic, location is the primary thing, right? You know, you want to find a club that's near you or near where you work. And then if there's a pandemic, obviously Zoom. So you want to make sure on Toastmasters.org, you include your Zoom links while we're still doing Zoom. There's a free Toast host site, which I'm sure you guys have used before. So you want to make sure, does it have the Toastmasters club and Toastmasters lingo on it? Do you focus on key points like the date, location, and contact information? So I've circled over here a couple different things. So I circled, you know, key contact and date, location information, talking about us being virtual, showing right up front when our meetings are, where they're located. The other thing that I circled in the middle, invest in yourself one speech at a time. That's our club logo, and you'll see that in our social media. And then I also circled at the bottom our links to Facebook and Meetup. So anybody who clicks on those links will go to those pages. So if you have a member who's more into that platform, they're gonna go what they're familiar with. So this was in Facebook. You'll notice that we've got our Toastmasters logo on there, and it matches other things that we have And our other page, we make sure that we have our address written multiple times. Now, this picture was actually taken last year, so it doesn't have the Zoom information. But we will also make sure that our voice matches throughout the platforms. That shows that everything that we write is friendly and positive. This is our meetup page for Arthur Storer Toastmasters. You'll notice we have our club logo there again. We have our information again about how to go and find us and where we're located. Other social media platforms that are used right now. A lot of people are starting to get into YouTube and posting their YouTube videos on their websites. If your club likes doing that, that's a great way to get out. We're a speaking group. It's, you know, we're visual. It would be great to go and do more YouTube videos. Some businesses really are tied into LinkedIn. And if you have more of a business type club, you might use LinkedIn. Millennials and Gen Z, they like Snapchat and TikTok. Instagram is great because all you do is post one picture. Twitter is wonderful if you have different hashtags that you want to go and use. And you can also post really short video clips, maybe a testimonial. Other ways to advertise your club. You can host an open house. You can post flyers around work. You can ask if you can cross promote at your office. You can get a table at community events. For example, we were going to try and get a club at Deutsche Fest this year in Pflugerville, but of course the pandemic, that was all canceled. But that's one of the things that's worth exploring, to get out into your community. You can have bring a friend days at your club. You can visit other clubs and talk about your club. You can attend Toastmasters networking events. And if you have connections, you try and get a professional PR person to volunteer for your club. Not everybody knows a PR person, but if you have one, they're a good person to know, just like a good IT person and a good mechanic. Now, this is something that we used for the Women's March. It's online calendars. These are all free. Now, if you are hosting an open house for your club, or you have an event that you want to promote, like a Toastmasters speech competition, you can go on any of these things, Statements 360, Austin Chronicle, visit austin.org, austinmonthly.com, do512.com, and write your information. All you have to do is, you know, register account. These are all free. And like I said, anybody who wants this emailed to them, you can have it right there. Or if you want to take a screenshot, take a screenshot. This is, you know, useful if you're trying to go and bring more outside people who maybe don't know you. Go through some social media tips. Get a volunteer committee. Share the work, because especially if you're doing more than one platform, it can be a lot because you have to post pictures or videos. You have to like, comment, share. You don't want to just leave it out there. So the more the merrier. And there's usually somebody in each club who really likes one platform, so get them involved. You want to focus on the platforms where your target audience hangs out. So our target audience hangs out on Meetup. So that's the main thing that we're focused on, Meetup and Facebook. So those are the platforms that we use. But let's say that we were thinking, hey, you know what we really want to do? We want to get some younger people in. We want to get some, you know, some people right out of high school. Well, then I would suggest using TikTok. Engage with the comments, likes, and shares, because that's how you build a relationship with people who want to be members. And ask your members to share with their networks. Just like you went out to people that you know and you said, hey, I have a great club, why don't you come to my club? Same thing when you're online. If you have a person who is very, very social and maybe has, you know, 2,000 followers on their Facebook page, or, you know, 500 friends or whatever, and you're really trying to bring new members in, go and ask your friend to share your post with a link to your club. You know, leverage your networks. Pop quiz. I'm going to read this, and this is more of a thinking question. Which platforms does your target audience use? Which platforms does your club use? And do they match? All right, putting your plan into action. Case studies. Let's talk about the Women's March. I followed the the strategies here and let's see how it turned out. Who are you? Women's March, we're a diverse, grassroots, all-volunteer, women-led nonprofit. Who is our target audience? Progressive-leaning women and those who support women. What did we want them to know? We wanted them to know that we were having a Get Out the Vote rally on January 18th at the state capitol from noon until 3. How did we reach them? We had a website. We had a Facebook page. We had Instagram. We had Twitter. We registered on online calendars, and we also had a professional PR who was helping us get onto television and in newspapers and magazines. Measure results. Did people show up to our event? Yes, yes, they did. All right, pop quiz. What is one concrete step that you can take in the next 30 days to improve your marketing? And I'm gonna close this out. If you can unmute yourself, just call out. What is one thing that you can do after watching this to go and improve your PR at your club?
Lisa, I'm going to share what I did after I heard your presentation the first time when you talked about making everything consistent. We have top-notch trainers, which is an advanced training club, and all of our stuff looked like it came from different clubs. So after Lisa's first presentation, I went into Canva and made a very nice banner that is on all of our platforms now, and it looks so much better, and you can tell it's the same club. So thank you very much for that. I've been doing marketing for years and years, and I still learn something from you.
Good. Good to know. So anybody else, what is something that you can do in the next month that's going to go and help you reach more people? How about?
The clear answer is get a mascot. See?
Yes, gotta go for the cat.
Wafa says she's going to post on online calendars. That's a really good idea too.
Oh, that's good. So think of this time.
I have a thought.
Yes,
I have
Steve.
to learn Facebook so I can use it.
Yes.
The PR team is going to be teaching a class on that, Steve.
Oh, perfect tie-in. And let's use a moment now. This is a moment now for you guys to kind of elevator pitch your club. So right now, you know, we're in the land of Zoom. We can go to each other's clubs. So if you want to take a minute now and pitch your club to our audience, just why should we go to your club? Anyone? How about Emily Flores? Why should we go to your club?
So we're a corporate club, but if y'all want to hear anything about energy, y'all are more than welcome to join our club or to visit.
Well, since you're a corporate club, what's one thing that you can do in your corporation?
For PR, we have a Hootsuite account. So we actually post a lot on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. We do have Facebook, but I still haven't figured that out yet. It's tied to my personal Facebook, and I want to keep that separate.
You can create a page. Once you have a Facebook personal account, you need a personal Facebook account in order to create a Facebook page. But then you can go and create the page, and then you invite people to like the page, and then you can post on that.
How do you invite people to like the page that are not your? I don't have any of my company coworkers on my Facebook account. So how do you do that?
And that's fine. And that's fine. So once you create the page, then you can go and share the page as a link, and you can go and share it, and you can go and tag people on it. So you just put that little @ symbol and then type in the person's name and then ask them to go and like the page. And I see somebody writing in here, Benson, get in touch with a volunteer, create Toastmaster events on Eventbrite too. Oh, that's a good one. Hey everyone, we have a professional development workshop in October. Speaking Ain't Easy meets on Tuesdays at 12:45, free. Good elevator pitch. You know, if you guys want to go and put your links in and, you know, to your clubs, you know, it's always good to go and promote and be able to go and talk about your club in maybe 3 sentences or less. Just think of it as a table topic. Let's see. Jeff points out a good thing. Corporate clubs need to be careful with using external sites. Consult your relevant people about it. Always good to kind of go that way. I work for myself, so I forget about all the rules of corporate things, but but it's always a good idea to go and check with your HR. And now
I used to be in a corporate club, and we used bulletin boards around the buildings, and we had a Toastmasters corner in the monthly newsletter that came out. So those are things you can do.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And once you start getting into non-quarantine time, you can also go and give flyers to the members in your club and go and say, hey, is there a coffee shop that you go to all the time? Can you put up our flyer in your coffee shop? Or can you go and take it and share it with, you know, maybe you're in a book club, you know, share it with your book club members. You know, word of mouth is very, very helpful for going and bringing in new people. I'm gonna go back here. All right, so I want to give you some sources for further reading. And again, this is in the link if you need it. The Growth Journey, How to Create a PR Strategy, Stop Selling to Everyone, How to Create a Buyer Persona if you want more data on who your target audience should be. And now let's do, for a bonus, website review. And then Kathy, just let me know how much time that we have. I've got a couple different examples here. And I'm going to keep bringing this screen up again because I want it to kind of, you know, make sure that it registers with everyone. Anytime
yeah, right now you have 15 minutes, so you're good.
Perfect. Anytime that you look at a website or a Facebook page or LinkedIn, you want to ask yourself when you're writing about your club, does it include the Toastmasters logo? Does it include your club logo or your club photo? Do the photos and logos match across your platforms? Do you maintain your voice throughout your platforms? Do you focus on key points such as the date, location, how people can contact you and ask about your club? I heard that somebody from High Noon Toastmasters might be on this call, so I thought, hey, let's look at their website. So this is the free Toast Host site, so a lot of you have this one. I really like how they have on here that they're meeting online right now in Zoom. So that's focusing on key points. They have a little bit of the logo there, and I thought it was interesting that they are using a YouTube video. I thought that was kind of interesting. Now, here's where there's something that might be of issue where it's, you know, do you maintain your voice? So I love how it has the photos of members and a little bio of everyone. There's a Facebook link under this person, and I'm not sure if it's a link to the Club Toastmaster page or if it's a link to her personal page.
No, that's her personal Facebook. You put your own in.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's one thing. And I'm sure that everybody here has been checked out and everything, but you might want to just kind of discuss with everybody if that's okay, because, you know, for example, I chaired the Women's March. So my Facebook page may not be an appropriate thing to link to club things. So that's just something you might want to consider and discuss. On the High Noon Toastmasters page in the meeting information, it looks like there's a typo there where it says High Noon Toastmasters Club meetings are, and it's highlighted yellow and there's a question mark. So I'm not sure about that. And then there's also where, and it has the location of the restaurant, you might want to update it to include, you know, Zoom. So that was something. Then I thought, hey, let's look at the Today Club. Now the Today Club, as circled up top, they're using Wix to go and develop their website as opposed to Free Toast Host. So they have a little bit more freedom to go in and add more things. What I like about it is, does it include the Toastmaster logo? Yes, there's the Toastmaster logo right up top. Does it have your club logo? Yes, it's their photo, and they're holding their Toastmasters thing that says the Today Toastmasters. You'll see that it does match across their platforms. And we'll talk a little bit more about maintaining their voice. I love how they have, tell us you're visiting. I love how they have a contact form right on their homepage. You don't have to scroll very far. If you want to find out how to get to their club, all you have to do is fill out the box. Now over here, this is something where I would say, are you maintaining your voice? This is in their about page. Their very first line is, public speaking is scary. And then they talk about how the Toastmasters, we believe in a fun, relaxed environment. They might want to start off going and saying, we are a fun, relaxed environment, because fun matches their picture, but public speaking is scary as the first sentence doesn't match the picture. And I understand that it's, you know, it's going long, but these are just general things that you might notice. I used to do real estate. I own real estate right now. I own an apartment building. And one of the things that we had to do was called the customer experience. And so whenever I look at a property, I look at the property as a customer coming in having never seen the location for the first time. And when I'm going onto a property, I look up, I look down, I look side to side, and what do I see? Because that is what the customer is going to see. If you're somebody who is wanting to join Toastmasters, who's looking around, they're going to start clicking around on your website. So you want to make it as easy as possible for them to find your club, fall in love with your club, and know that your club is the one club that can go and fill their needs. In Today Club, does it include the Toastmasters logo and your club logo? Yes, the Toastmasters logo is there again. They have the little blurb that says, welcome, today is an Austin Toastmasters Club. Does it focus on key points and location? Yes, it's got their Zoom call there. It also has their address there at the bottom, so you can go and find it on a map. Now let's move on to the Crystal City Evening Toastmasters webpage. This is also done by, this is a Wix one, not Free Toast Host. And this is the one that I was talking about earlier in the presentation. See how they have the chandelier? That's pretty fancy, huh? And they have your professional and your personal and professional goals matter to us. So the pictures that they have there, it's relaxed, but it's also cocktail party relaxed. I love how they have at the very top screen an email that you can go and write to right as you're in there. So anybody who wants to find out more, there's the email right at the top. I like how they have visit us at the top, where they have links to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Let's look over here. And then also at the bottom of all of their screens, they have a little let's chat, which I thought was pretty interesting. Now, here's one thing that I don't think is totally good with their site, where it says, it's really hard to read, but it says 3 easy steps to join our club. But it's really hard to read it, so it's not easy if you can't read it. I like how they have a Cash App and a PayPal button there, but I had to really squint to go and figure out what that was. So if I was giving them a suggestion, I would just say for that banner, instead of having black, make it white, or instead of having a gray font for 3 easy steps to join our club, I would make it a white font so you can read it.
Hey, Lisa.
Yes.
That font, that logo on that previous page, yes, that's not branding compliant either. The one that's cut in half with the word Toastmaster underneath, you can't do that.
Oh, that was actually a rolling screen.
Okay,
They
good.
did have it, but I was doing screenshots, so I wasn't able to go and capture everything.
And Wafa commented on the fact it's not really a club logo because that's not legal. Even the tagline, like "Laughing Matters,"
Mhm.
where laughter matters, you cannot create a new tagline. It's where leaders are made. That's part of the branding system. So I would say, like, instead of a club logo, a club persona or a club voice, it's just, you cannot literally create a new logo for a club. It's got to be the Toastmasters logo.
Ah, okay,
Just
even
branding,
better.
just branding info.
Well, it's good. I'm glad that you guys are on this call. I don't want to be giving out the wrong info.
Since
Thank you,
Laura's here,
Kat.
I figured
Thank
I
you,
might
Kat.
comment on it.
Kathy, thank you for confirming that. We learned during our training for the last 3 years, the district leaders training from TI, that a lot of clubs are not in compliance and many of them don't even know. But if people want to use a fun event and do t-shirts, my recommendation is to send a request to TI. I put the email address brand@toastmasters.org and ask for approval. They have approved some tagline, not taglines, but things that are a little bit different for the conference, for instance, if you have a theme, but it's always advisable that you get approval from TI when you want to change things.
Oh, that's perfect. It's good.
Thank you.
It's good that you're on the call and let us know, because, hey, I'm teaching the PR course and I didn't know that, and I've been to PR training. So it's good to, to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
I found out about the taglines because I was going to write an article about developing a tagline for your club, and I sent it to TI and they said that's not allowed. So that's how I found out.
This is good. So, hey, at least we're finding it out now. But you can still have a picture of your club. And the main thing is you want to make sure that that picture matches throughout all of your platforms. Like when I was talking about the Women's March, it was a picture of a bunch of people in front of the state capitol, and that per se wasn't a logo, but anybody who went onto our stuff would know that we were the Women's March in Texas, as opposed to, I mean, there's so many like other offshoots of the Women's March. So, stick to your brand. So if your brand is the Today Club and all of your pictures show everybody having fun and having your arms up and doing something funny, you just want to make sure that that same feel is across your platforms. Here's one thing that Crystal City Evening Toastmasters did that I really love. They posted success stories, and they have here, your personal and professional goals matter to us. So it goes and it talks about their values. And I love how you have a really good picture of different people. It's obviously, professionally done photos. Now, not everybody has a professionally done photo, but you want to make sure if you're posting a picture of yourself or a member that it's well lit, that it's in front of a background that is soothing, or something that's not going to go and draw your eyes everywhere. You want to focus on the person's face. I used to be an actress, and when I did headshots and I had to go and pick headshots, the thing that they said is you want to see white, color white when you're looking at the eyes. So you don't want to have anything off, because that's going to make you look shady. So you want to go and make sure that it's clear. So when you're doing headshots, you just kind of want to make sure that you're drawing the person in. But I love that they have success stories. All right, what is one thing you learned today about marketing? Just call it out or put it in the chat. What's one thing you learned today? Consistency. Connecting Toastmasters with how it helps us personally and professionally is so important. Calendar. Use a team. All right, great. Consistent message. Yep.
I got so wrapped up in the talk. You have 3 minutes left.
All right, we are almost done here. Thank you. I just wanted to give you my information. If you want to ask me questions about PR or marketing or anything else, this is where you can find me. My name is Lisa Choggett. My website is she'slosingit.com. My email is she'slosingit.net@gmail.com, which I understand is really long, but that's what I could get. And on Instagram, I just use my name @Lisa Choggett.
I highly recommend visiting Lisa's website too, because it is a great example of how to do things well. So thanks again for doing this, Lisa. I enjoyed it both times, and this was a great crowd. I hope we get to do it again with an even bigger crowd. Thank you all for coming, and I am going to save the chat, and you will get copies of this presentation. Stay tuned on the website, on the district website, for more fun classes. We will have a lot more on PR because we've had a lot of requests for training on PR because our club members know that that's how you build membership. So let us know if there's anything in particular you want to learn about. And Steve, we definitely have the Facebook class coming for you. Thanks everybody for coming, and thanks again, Lisa.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Lisa.
Bye, Lark. Thank you.
Awesome.
I'm going to stay on for a minute.
I thought it was great.
Okay.
Hey, you did well.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, how's it going?
Good, good. Keeping
work?
fairly busy. Yeah, it's all right. I haven't been with the EOC for a little while, so things have kind of calmed down in one respect, but our teams merged at work, so that's a new set of challenges. If you want me to do something on building a free toast marketing hub, let me know. I've been meaning to put that together.
We are maxed. We have all the classes filled out through December. We're taking a couple of weeks off for, you know, Christmas, of course. But I would love to set you up doing something in January if you've got time.
Yeah, sure. Just let me know.
That's fantastic. Thanks for
coming. I've been planning and making on started one YouTube video, and I started making the PowerPoints for other things. So hopefully we'll get that going.
You can even give me a list of the things you're willing to teach. I've already got Lisa signed up to teach us one on newsletters, and I don't know, was there something else you were going to add in with the newsletters because you thought that wouldn't
right now I'm working on Speakers Bureau, so I'm building out the my keynote speeches, but a lot of them are business related, so I can go and, you know, make it work for this.
And are you going to do a talk about getting involved with the Speakers Bureau? Do you want to?
Yeah, I would love to do that, to go and pitch to people who want to find out more about it.
Yes, because I'm sure we'll have quite a few people that are interested in that.
Yeah, that would be good. And Jeff, you should really, really, really do it.
I know. I've just been fussing with everything else.
Excited, Jeff.
I know.
You should see you probably saw my room. It's a disaster.
No, I saw your cat. That's what I focused on.
Yeah, they've got a stripy girl just wandered in and rubbed around my legs, so that's that.
Yeah, I hate COVID. I miss we can't go over there and play the video games.
Yeah, I know.
Or have the Halloween party over here.
Well, I guess I can stop recording, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, as we're all chit-chatting.
I'll have to dial up the air cleaners for you, but you know, we can actually